Hi guys, Crystal here from Homemaking on the Homestead, and welcome to my channel. Today I am going to be showing you 5 do-it-yourself mixes for the pantry. These are made with simple and easy ingredients, and they go together very quick. I was putting them together the other day, and I know in less than 2 hours, and I was also filming as I did it, and got the the dishes all washed, and so they're really easy to put together. Now, not only can these mixes save you money because they are very frugal and they replace things that you might commonly buy in the store, but they're also a great time saver. So if you just are looking for something quick to grab off the shelf and put dinner together, these might come in really, really handy. Not long ago, I purchased this book, Little House Living by Melissa A. Link. And I've actually enjoyed reading the book. So mostly what her book is full of is do-it-yourself type things, not just for the kitchen, which she has a lot of mixes and baking mixes and cake mixes and brownie mixes and things like that, but she also has things like health and beauty type things. So you've got face scrubs and foot scrubs and deodorizers, and there's just a whole a bunch of stuff in there. As I read through that, I was looking at it and thinking, well, a lot of these things look great to make, but I need to buy this or I would need to buy that. So I just tried to simplify what I am showing you today with things that you should be able to find right on your pantry shelves, and if not, they are things that you can, they're just staples to have in your home. So I hope that you enjoy all of these recipes. Also, I want to mention that all the recipes or links to recipes are listed down below in the description box. Okay, the first one we're going to do is rice-a-roni. Now, I don't typically buy rice-a-roni because I feel like it's just too expensive. But if it's something that you do buy, then this will save you some money for sure, because pasta and rice are pretty cheap compared to the little tiny amount that you get in a box and some spices. So it will definitely save you money. And as I said to begin with, it'll be convenient as well. Even if it's not something that you buy, you'll have a nice convenient side dish. So to start making this, I take some regular spaghetti noodles and I just break them up into little pieces. I mean, 1 inch is ideal, but sometimes it's kind of hard to get that 1 inch, and some pieces are a little bigger, some are a little smaller. It doesn't matter. You just break them up. For this recipe, because it's kind of a bulk mix, I'll be making 3 of them at the same time. I needed 1.5 cups. I should also mention that if you don't want to be breaking up the spaghetti pieces, you can buy a pasta called orzo pasta, which is the little tiny little pasta that is actually in rice-a-roni. However, when I looked at it at the grocery store, it was pretty expensive, and when you look at the price per ounce, and definitely more than I wanted to spend, especially when I had spaghetti noodles already on my shelf. The first thing I did was pull out 3-pint jars and fill them with the rice. The next thing I did was put in 1/2 cup of the broken up pasta that I had just done, and the last thing was to put the spices. Now, I'm going to say that the spices, you're going to need to add more of your own spices. They're just pretty basic, so if you just do it as is, you might find it a little bland. I don't know, everybody's taste is different, but you might want to add, some extra zip to it, whatever it is that you like. When you go to make the rice-a-roni, you will be adding chicken broth to it. So, and you can add chicken broth from a can. You can add your own homemade. You can add water and bouillon cubes. Okay, this next one is for cream of whatever soup that you would like. This stuff is so easy to throw together and so inexpensive. The last time that I bought some cream of mushroom soup, that's typically the one that I would buy, I could not believe how expensive it was. And that was back at the holidays. It's probably even more expensive now. But this has got such basic ingredients: the powdered milk, the cornstarch, your spices. And if you just simply want to make it so that you can have some cream of mushroom soup, you would add water and the mix, and then add whatever spices or anything else that you want. If you want cream of mushroom, you could saute up some chopped up mushrooms in butter, and then you would have that, or maybe celery or chicken. You can throw it dry into a casserole, add the liquid, and then add bouillon, add broth instead or whatever, and use a very versatile mix to have on hand. This next one is for instant oatmeal. It's like those individual packets that you can buy in the grocery store, and they're pretty expensive compared to what you pay per ounce, per pound for oats. Years ago, I used to make this for my family, and I would make it by the gallon. I did not put it into little bags and all that because that seemed like a waste of my time and energy. So I just simply would put it in a big gallon-sized jar. So I greatly reduced the recipe, and below I have the reduced recipe and I have the original recipe that makes an entire gallon full. It's pretty simple. You take half of your oats and you chop those up in your blender just so they're a little bit fine. You don't want to get too far into that and end up with flour, so you just want to break up the size of the pieces. At that point, you just throw that into a bowl with the rest of the oats and the powdered milk, a little bit of salt, cinnamon, and a tiny bit of nutmeg, and you stir that up. I filled, not quite, about 3/4 of the way, I filled a 2-quart canning jar, and now I have easy to use breakfast. And it's very simple to make. I don't even use measurements. Put what you want, the amount of oatmeal that you want, into your bowl. Add boiling water. Set a plate on top of it or something on top of it to hold in the heat, and just let it sit for a few minutes. Stir it up and enjoy. And there you have a simple, easy breakfast. Okay, this 4th recipe that I am showing you is for an all-purpose muffin mix. Now, I shared this muffin mix in one of my ebooks years ago. I have had so many women over the years email me telling me how much that this is just a staple in their house and how easy it is to put together, and I would have to agree with them. It's a great muffin recipe because it is just a basic recipe, and then there is a huge long list of add-ons, or add-ins, I should say. So you can turn it into blueberry muffins, applesauce muffins, zucchini muffins, carrot muffins, you know, you name it. You can have all kinds of different muffins. I have the recipe on my blog, and I will definitely leave a link to that. I will also in the description box put the smaller batch size that I made. I didn't want to make a big huge batch because I just make muffins occasionally, so I just reduced the recipe. Can't remember by how much right now, but I reduced the recipe so I would have a smaller amount. Basically, you're just putting all your ingredients together that you would, your dry ingredients at least, that you would for making muffins. That's it. When I was done putting it all together, I put it into a couple little food storage containers that I had there, and put that on the shelf. And in fact, this morning I pulled that out, and I've already made some carrot raisin muffins from that this morning. So, and they are good. Well, at least according to my husband. I didn't have any yet, but my husband said they were good. So, very easy mix to make and very convenient, and can save you some money. All right, so this last recipe, number 5, is for your own DIY Hamburger Helper. Now, Hamburger Helper is again something that I never buy, but that's basically the idea, is just making a skillet meal and making it quick and easy and convenient on your shelf. Now, if you do buy Hamburger Helper, of course, this will save you a whole lot, because like rice Roni, pasta is pretty darn inexpensive. I started out with getting my pasta, my elbow macaroni out, and realized I did not have enough to do this. So then I grabbed some rotini, a little bit of rotini pasta in a bag that I had, and I added that to that. Nope, that still was just a little bit off. And funny enough, I had a little bit of the broken up spaghetti from the rice Roni, and I just threw that in there. Like, oh, what the heck, let's use it all up. So my Hamburger Helper, or pasta skillet dinner mix, is got a variety of noodles in it. At that point, you are going to measure your noodles into your pint canning jars. Then you're going to add your spices, and I add powdered milk because most of the recipes that I am, that I run across have you add like part broth and part milk. So I added enough powdered milk so that it would cover the necessary milk. Now, if you are non-dairy or you just don't want to put milk in it and you want to make that choice later on, then you could skip the powdered milk. It really doesn't, it's not going to affect anything. So once you have your jars filled and you're ready to use it, you're going to basically cook up your hamburger. And by the way, you could use chicken if you wanted. You could make it meatless and add beans to it. And usually it's about 2.5 cups of cooked beans is equal to a pound of hamburger. If you simply wanted to reduce the amount of hamburger, you could do half hamburger and put 1.25 cups of cooked beans in there. So it could be a hamburger bean pasta dish. You know, just be creative and work with what your budget allows. After you cook up your hamburger, and by the way, you could add onions to your hamburger. You can, you know, at that point be super creative. You can add mushrooms, you could add grated carrots, you could add peppers, celery, whatever you want. Just add it in there. And when everything is cooked and your veggies are soft, you're going to dump in your jar of mix and add the appropriate amount of liquid. You can add just water, and you can add broth, your homemade. You could add bouillon to that, whatever works for you. You would also want to decide if you wanted to spice it up a little bit. If you added, let's say, you know, red beans or kidney beans with the hamburger, half and half, then you could, you know, make it a chili mac if you wanted. So again, the options are pretty limitless, but there you go. There is my 5 DIY mixes that I made this afternoon, and they are very frugal and very budget friendly and will be very convenient to have on the shelf as well. I hope you found this helpful, and if you try any of them, please come back and let me know and tell me what you think. All right, you guys. I will see you all in my next video. Bye-bye.